Cup of tea, will you, love?
Do you want a burger and onions with that?
No, just a cup of tea with lovely flour.
Yeah.
Cheers, duck.
That'll be £1.50.
Not paying, what are you on about? Go and have a look what I've done. Look at the improvements I've made.
Oh, it's so much better now. I like what you've done.
Oh. Day 3, folks. Day 3. So, Stacey hasn't seen it for a couple of days.
No, I like what's been done though. It's definite improvement. Yeah.
It's very airy now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Light and airy.
And it doesn't smell damp anymore.
Yeah, you can't smell the damp. So, there we go. So, first job of the day. Like I said last time, battery box out, so I can finish trimming off that wall and tidy up here where I've left. But I think we can have a cup of tea first and get the electric on. So, right, see you in a bit.
I see you've got a stash of Frey Bentall supplies down there.
Da 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 da. Little pin that holds the engine. And there we go. And the door comes off, just like that. Of course, the problem is now I've got to remove the box and I'll disconnect the electricity, which means it's always going to be a bit darker inside, but I'm going to see whether there's any sort of way I can reconnect it temporarily without having the box in place. So, next little job. Right, so disconnect the power, and then we're going to disconnect the battery. Never had the battery out of the caravan before, so I don't know how long these 12-volt leads are. Oh, but I was hoping that they'd be long enough to put the battery on the floor, which they are, which is excellent. So I'm going to get some spanners and we'll undo the battery clamps. I've just come to undo the clamps with some spanners and they weren't even tightened. So, oh hey, whoever put this battery in last has put it in there with a bit of a rush because they didn't do the strap up, they didn't do the clamps right. Funny. Anyway, all's well that ends well. Right, let's put this away then. What is interesting is I thought the whole battery box would come out as one. That's an outer ring. So, is that push back then? I'm not sure how this next bit comes out, but we'll find out. Well, a bit dozy of me really, but obviously there's 2 screws down here. So, let's get those out the way. I didn't notice those earlier because it was so full of rubbish, but I'll give it a bit of a sweep. And yeah, you can see what we're doing now. Right. Is there one more? I was just catching on the outside of the caravan. There we are. Sorted. So now, next job is to disconnect some of this wiring, and looking like it's just there, which is really good. So I'll photograph that just before I lose it, and then I'll look at disconnecting the 240 volt, which also doesn't look to be too much of an issue either. So I'll do that now. Unless I just leave it out like that and cut the wall around it. That might be just as easy. leave the electrical connections and I don't have to worry. I think I'm going to do that, you know, because I can do everything I need to with it like that. Sorted. Next bit. Some of that made me laugh the other day when I realised how silly it was when I'd done it. I'd taken a spirit level, not this one, the long one, and I'd drawn a rough line down the wall so that if the wall covering tore, it would get to the line there and then stop, because I'd scored it with a Stanley blade. Well, of course, the spirit level in the caravan is about as useful as a spirit level on a boat, because different levels of the caravan are at different heights and everything else, and it's a bit of a waste of time. So I was lying in bed the other night and I sort of came across this epiphany and thought, well, you know what, if I just take a square off the window, that's probably the best thing. So I'm going to use the saw blade, take a nice square line off the window, and then I'm going to cut down the ply using one of these, which is a rotary tool, which my father-in-law has kindly lent to me. I've never used one before, so I'll have a wee practice on this scrap side first, and we'll see how we get on, but I need to draw the line first, so let's do that now. I'm seriously impressed by that. That's really good. That's a really good piece of kit. Right, try and get this last little bit off. I'm going to switch the blade for a smaller one so I can get right into the bottom there. And yeah, no, that's really handy. This is going to be, I think, on the Santa's wish list from me this year. Right. Switch the blade over to the next one. See, it's even got centimetres on there, so you know that obviously you don't want to push it in too far, and you can see how far you are going. But that's, yeah, no, that's really good. Impressed by that. Oh, wrong way around. Try again. If this little area down here ends up a little messy, it doesn't matter because it'll be hidden eventually anyway. Lovely, right, let's trim off to here with the polystyrene, and then we can probably next move the bulkhead out, I think is the next port call. Nice. So now we're going to clear up the top wall using the same method, and yeah, basically get it all nice and clean, stripped back. And we can see where we got to work to now anyway, so which is good. Right, carry on. Just worked out the purpose of the aluminium band. I think it's to provide greater strength for the screws for when the cupboards are on the wall. Which makes sense, I suppose. Question for me is, what do I want to do about it? Because I'll need to cut it. Do I just cut it with a saw? What does the blade say? That just says wood on that one. So maybe I'll have to cut down this with a small saw. As it's aluminium, it should cut fairly nicely, and then I can always re-glue the aluminium back on or something similar afterwards. So let's see how we get on. Yeah, wood, plastic, soft metal. Oh hey, right, where's this? Where's my square? I hadn't even taken out the van yet, so that's where it was. Right, I reckon about here, folks. Don't know what's underneath it, but we'll find out. That is just brilliant. What a brilliant tool. Honestly. Otherwise, you're looking at doing it with a hammer and chisel, then it's just going to be a right mess of a job. That is fantastic. And it's Ferrex, which I think is Lidl, so I'm going to keep an eye out on Lidl and buy one when they come in next. That is fantastic. Great, right, let's get this bit finished off. Okay, so now it's time for the bulkhead to come out. Again, it's something I've been trying to avoid, but I should have just done it ages ago. Would have made my life a lot easier. So I'm going to drill out the rivet that's holding that into the wall. I just don't want to, I know it's not exactly attached too well, but I don't want to pull on it too hard. So let's have a go at drilling this out and see what elders rivets are made of. Let's have a go. Knock the old rivet off first. I thought it would just come off, but it's fairly well stuck on there. There we are. Let's try that again. And that's all there is to it. Cool, so I'm going to undo the bulkhead. It looks to be just these screws that are holding the bulkhead here, and obviously that rail then holds it to the front of the caravan. But I'm going to start off by undoing these ones and see how we get on. The bulkhead's proving a bit more of a challenge to get out than what I first thought, so I'm going to drill out the rest of the rivets that are holding it, this kind of angle iron, aluminium, sorry, I say, not iron, angled piece of aluminium anyway, to the floor, and see whether that gives me a bit more chance to get it out. So here goes. It's lunchtime! Stacey is here. He's though.
He's taking me to the dark side.
I got the bulkhead out. I didn't film it. It was really annoying to do, so I was getting quite annoyed with it, and I just wanted to get it done. Long story short was that there were some mystery screws that I couldn't get to, but as you can see, it's out. And what I'm probably going to do next is have a little tidy up, have a little sweep up before I decide what I'm going to tackle next. I'm becoming increasingly convinced to take out the bed area. So we've got the bulkhead out now. I think I said that to you guys before. What I've done is I've pulled up all of the vinyl plastic that covers the floor, and this is looking into the front hatch now. You can see how wet the floor has been under here. This corner we knew was damaged anyway, because when I wound up a corner steady too hard, it split. You can actually see, if I just take the torch away, you can see the daylight coming through the crack there. So what I'm thinking now is, Stace came over for lunch. She joined me in a frayed Bentos pie, funnily enough. And we had the little discussion about how, obviously, longer term we'd like a fixed bed caravan. And I said to her ages ago, why don't we just extend into the front hatch? And so obviously with the bulkhead now removed, you can see actually there probably would be space for a double bed there, and then you'd have like 2 small single-seater settees. Had I come up with this epiphany sooner on, I would have removed all of the original bed material and seating material, because it would have made it such a lot easier to move around in. So I'm sort of getting to the stage now where I'm thinking, yeah, do you know what? Let's take all of this seating area out, pretty much up to this point here where the kitchen worktop starts. That will allow me then to replace the piece of floor that's knackered as well, and then when we rebuild, I'll insulate once I put the framework in, somehow face off that and insulate behind it. So it will mean that we won't have a front locker, but it does mean we've got more space for the caravan. In terms of us for a front locker, the only things of any importance that were in there were the spare tyre for the caravan and the gas connection. Obviously with us using the safe fill gas canister now anyway, that always lives outdoors because it wouldn't have fitted in the front locker anyway. So what I'm thinking is, well, actually let's do away with the front locker and take up more space for living area. There's a few things I'll need to do to achieve that. Obviously I'll need to reroute the gas line, which is down there. You can see I've just got it hooked over at the moment like so, and I'll have to remove that gas line there, which is for a barbecue outlet. Again, I don't use that anyway. The other thing to the left of it is a 240 volt socket for the awning, which we have used a couple of times, but if we weren't to have it anymore, I don't think it would be a major issue. And then there's a couple of bits of wiring that I'll just need to move out the way whilst we put the new floor in. I'm just sort of thinking really that whilst we've got the caravan into this stage of disrepair, let's just do it properly. And I'm also starting to think maybe doing that wall at least up to, you know, where the window is, just because then I just know it's done, and it's done right, and I don't have to take all this stuff out again. We are thinking if we put a double bed in here, just putting like almost like a standard house double bed, you know, and just fix it loosely to the floor, which will give us that flexibility to move it out in the future if we do decide to do this wall again later without having to undo loads of stuff. As you know, we don't really tour in this caravan. It is just sort of where we stay. So other than moving it around the farm, things don't have to be fastened down that well, and it'll just make better use of the space. But that's kind of where I'm at with it today. So I'm going to try and spend a little bit of time I've got left this afternoon. I'm going to take out all this seating area and just really free up the space, so that when we come back I can look at the floor and take it from there. It's turning into a bit of a bigger project than what I'd initially anticipated, but hopefully longer term it will be better. I still haven't looked at timber or anything like that at Jewson's yet, so that's something else. Fortunately I do have a trade account, which is handy, so I can get what I need through that. I think that's about it. So let's crack on. Let's just commit to doing it. Let's get these seating areas out, and then I'll come back to you once they're out, and we'll see what we're left with. Okay. And there we have it. That's the entire front area of the caravan out. In truth, I wish I'd done that straight away. It would have made my life a lot simpler. But you know, as you go along, you learn, don't you? If I was repairing, say I had to repair damp again the front end of a caravan, I'd probably do that straight away. Just make everything dead easy, give yourself loads of space to work. And you discover like a lot of things that were damp that you didn't think were damp. So for example, all underneath this plastic stuff on our floor, and get a grip of it, and that was all damp up to about here. So had I not taken all this out, I probably wouldn't have discovered that. So yeah, I think that's enough for today. I'm going to tidy up, and we're going to plan the next moves. and we'll see if we can get this caravan put back together in some sort of shape or form within a half reasonable time scale. But hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hope you've enjoyed today's contributions. I really love your comments. If you've got any questions for me, bang a comment down below, and I love reading them. Feel free to comment to sort of say that you're absolutely mad. It'll just confirm what I already know. So anyway, have a great day, folks, and I will see you soon. Thanks, bye.